Today, I'm presenting my greatest run in DayZ official yet. What started off as a simple base building mission became so much more, and what's for sure is, there was a whole load more ups than downs. I managed to build up a secret cave base, as well as bump into plenty of action, so fasten your seatbelts, and I hope you all enjoy this one. After a swift start on the coast, I started heading down south, and the first point of interest to pass was a small ruined hunting village, which I was hoping to find a low tier sniper rifle at the least. With no more items spare for me, I headed off to the nearby military base. I came across multiple signs that other survivors had been through the area, but I hadn't seen or heard anyone. So I planned to continue heading southbound down the valley. I was passing by any shed or industrial building I could in search of building supplies, but I wasn't getting too much luck. As it was getting late for me and also dark in game, I decided to hit one more small military just west of the geothermal plant, and then I would find a house to hunker down in and log off for the night. Prepared to log off for the night and then come back in the morning and search for the rest of the building supplies, but I had no idea what I was in for the next day. To get the base started, all I needed now was pliers, metal wire, some boxing nails and a 4-dial lock. I did find a 3-dial, but I've always said you might as well leave your base wide open with a big sticky note saying everyone's welcome if you put a 3-dial on. Anyways, I found some pliers. I also wanted to keep this dry bag so I could bury my building supplies once I found them all. just as I had high hopes in finding the rest of the building supplies, this is when the journey took a turn. I was still in total shock, but I had just hit the jackpot. I got myself a nice AUG and a VSD with practically no effort. With this massive upgrade to my arsenal, I didn't lurk about too long because I knew that gunshot could attract more, and this guy could have had a teammate nearby, so I skipped a few towns and headed straight towards Nagovo. I'd just been gifted yet another kill, but I couldn't loot the body just yet. I had to make sure the area was secure, because for all I knew this guy could have teammates. From the looks of it, this guy was on his way to build up a car, but my main priority was the DMR on his back, which I'd just got for free. On top of this, the guy also had a thumper, which I would have loved to take, but I wouldn't have had enough space, so I took the grenades out instead. But I wanted to see if I could try to find this guy's car that he was trying to rebuild, because if I could load all this loot up, and then take it to the cave which I wanted to build in. I didn't want to search too far though, so I just checked this nearby radio tower, and if there was nothing there I would come back, pick up the rest of what I could, and then hopefully find the metal wire and the code lock that I so desperately needed. I couldn't see any car, and to be honest I wasn't willing to go much further than that, so I headed back to the body. In all honesty, I wasn't too keen on losing all this gear, so I pushed back plenty far and tried to see if I could get an angle, but this guy was nowhere to be seen. And quite frankly, I did not want to risk losing all this, so I headed off, knowing that even if I did kill another guy, I wouldn't have enough space to carry any of his loot. Now I was simply on a race against the clock. A race to get the rest of the building supplies so I could stash most of my gear, because if not, it was clear to me that my luck was about to run out. Just one more piece, that 4-dial combination lock. Finding that dry bag and being able to bury most of my supplies put me at ease a little bit. But after this, I would spend the next few hours and even eventually log off and relog the next day and still not find a 4-dial combination lock. So I was down to the last resort, and that was to raid a base simply just for the code lock. And luckily for me, I played the server a few weeks ago, so I was sure I knew the location of a base. Whether it was still active or not, it was time for me to find out. So I found some more dryer bags, stashed my VSD, all the nails I had acquired, and then a separate stash of my AUG and a few extra tools. And here it was. Not quite in the state I remember it, but it would do. All I needed was that 4-dial lock, and some people might think it's stupid to waste my ammo on this, but I just call it dedication. I got what I came for, and I now put this base in the back of my mind in case I want to return later on and try give it a raid. Now I had everything, I could finally make my way to the cave and get my base started. To my surprise, this cave had not been claimed by another survivor yet, so I had this full thing to myself, and I was going to make this my cozy hidden cave base. And I got to work straight away. It did take us some trial and error of the wall, but eventually I found the sweet spot. After hours upon hours of searching, I'd finally secured my home. There was a little gap, but I could use it to my advantage as a peek hole, just in case someone tried to sneak up on us. And this barbed wire should keep any intruders far away from the gate. But now I had to make some storage. Just for now, I stored my DMR as well as all my building supplies, and then I went to go ahead to the nearby military in search of a new jacket because mine was ruined, and if I was lucky, maybe even a camo net to put on top of the base wall. I took this jerry can and put some gasoline into a canteen, not because I wanted to do the bunker run, but because I wanted to try find a boat soon, and I would use this to fill it up with gas. With no luck in search of a fresh jacket, I would head west to the capital city of Sakhal in search of that, but more importantly, a boat. I wasted zero time heading out because I was eager to get a boat so I could travel all the way to the ship and get access to keys, and then hopefully find some containers and get even more higher tier weapons like the M4. Whilst peacefully fishing, I had to relog because my internet was being trash. And then, a 1 in a million happened. I couldn't believe it. I was literally getting handed DMRs left, right and centre. This was the most geared I'd ever been in my 1000 hours of DayZ. Even while editing this, I have no idea where this guy came from. I'm sure I just logged in, but wrong place, wrong time. With so much loot that I had no idea what to do with, I rushed back to the base to get it all secured. And once I was all locked and loaded, I was going to head down south yet again and go along the shoreline and try to find a boat. But if I couldn't find one on the shoreline of the mainland, I was going to have to cross the dangerous land bridge and search on the military peninsula. So here I was, making the risky journey across the land bridge into the peninsula. As luck would have it, a boat. I was starting to get extremely paranoid. The lack of loot and that boat that was parked up on top of the ship creaking had me on edge. I was sure that I was not the only visitor to this ship. I was quite disappointed to say the least, but at least I was walking away with my life. And out of spite of not finding much, I decided to be an arsehole and push this guy's boat over. So now I was going to head back to the base for recon and to decide what my next plan of action would be. By now, I knew there was no getting off this ice sheet, but a real sailor goes down with the ship